What's going on, family? How you guys doing? This is Larry Jr. Again, today I want to talk to you. You see the heading of the video. The title is How Did I Change My Life? Now, for a little backstory for some of you guys who may not know me, who may not know my history, I was a very bad guy. I wasn't the worst of the worst, but I wasn't anybody you were going to invite to dinner. You wasn't going to bring me around your family, okay? For years, I sold drugs. I started off, I would do whatever, man. I done robbed, I done did whatever I had to do. And eventually, I was sent off to prison. I was sent to prison on a 6-year bit, right? I had to do a 6-year stint, which is not a lot of time in that world. In that world, 6 years is like, man, you made out clean, okay? So for the case I had and for the time I ended up getting, I was blessed. So I ended up going to prison. Now, the point of the video today is to tell you about how I changed. It was one moment in my life that made me change. One. Everything else was just a prelude to it, but it was one moment. I continued to get myself in trouble over time. From the time my mother was murdered back it was June 16, 1990. From that time all the way up into it was July the 7th. July the 16th, 1990 up to July the 7th of 2000. I ran the street. In and out of trouble. It's been times where I had regular lives, but from that point when my mom died, I fell in love with the street and I ran the street. And I had like a good 10, 11 year run of running in the street until finally the ending. After all the little stints I did stints in the county. I did stints in boot camp. I did stints in detention centers. I did stints in juvenile. But after I went through all that stuff, nothing woke me up. And even while I was incarcerated for the crime that I ended up being incarcerated for back in 2000, I still wanted to get out and be a better criminal. That's all I can think about until one incident happened. And I'm going to tell you to respect your time. One morning, in prison, people are always doing things to kind of distract themselves from the reality of we ain't going nowhere. That's just being honest. I don't care if you're doing 1 day or 1 million days. We here for the time being. So what we want is distraction. So we distract ourselves with religion. We distract ourselves with whatever, drugs or whatever. I never really got off into the drugs or anything. But what I did was I like to gamble. So I used to always gamble. So up early one Sunday morning, gambling. And we out here gambling. And I'm at the table with these guys. Now, how prison work is 1 dayer or be incarcerated with 1,000 dayer, right? They don't really have you can be classified based on your violent history and all that stuff if you gang affiliated. But most of the times they try to put you, if you're low risk, they try to put you in low risk. And I had escaped. So since I had escaped, they had me I was what they call a minimum restrict. They knew I wasn't a threat, but I was a threat to run. You know what I mean? So that was what it was. So long story short, early one Sunday morning, I'm gambling with some guys, and we're all sitting at the table. I'm in Pikeville, Tennessee, Bledsoe Correctional Facility. This back in 2002, and we all gambling. And one guy who used to always house the game was a guy named LarryB.Jr. LarryB.Jr. was a guy out of Memphis. Was doing like a life without, and we all gambling. So it's me, LarryB.Jr. and a table full of people. Sunday morning, man, it's good gambling. We can't go nowhere. Everything locked down. The ball field locked down. Everything locked down. So only thing it is to do to gamble. So we gambling. And the problem was LarryB.Jr., any game he ever housed, he always cheated. And, if you green, you'll get caught on the bad end of the stick of that, right? But I just happened to not be green because I knew June and I knew whatever it was. If I'm involved in it, if he involved in it, I know it's going to be some shady stuff going on. But, I went in on it, but I knew enough to watch June. So we gambling and June doing what June do. He cheat. So what happened was one of the guys who was at the table was named Juggalo. Black people, we all got nicknames. So Juggalo was another guy doing a life without, right? Juggalo lost, and he saw that June had cheated. And when June cheated, Juggalo went off. They got Juggalo, and it's Sunday morning. Man, what's wrong with you, man? Blah blah blah. And June what you mean? They about to box. So long story short, Juggalo, and I want you guys to get this. This changed me, cause up until this point, I still was thinking about how I'm gonna be a better criminal, how I'm gonna do different. I had to pay back some people. It was some people that owed me, and I wanted to get them. Up until this moment, all I thought about almost every day was how to do this. These two guys arguing about a poker game, and the guy named Juggalo said this. He looked at Jones. He said, "You're not the only person that's going to die in here. So we can either do it now or do it then. But you're not the only person going to die in here. So I don't care, just like you don't care." At that moment, the pain and the intensity that he said it with, like it was so much raw. And I'm not feeling sorry for this guy, because a lot of these guys are horrible people, like straight up guys. Like they good people, but they, you don't want them living next door to you, like for real. But when he said that, that cut through all that hardness I had built up inside of me. And I realized something. That was me if I don't get my life together. And at that moment, one moment, that's why I believe you get placed in the right place at the right time. And I was placed at that poker game in Pikeville, Tennessee, early one Sunday morning when everybody else was in the bed. I'm up gambling. Fit my profile, stay in some stuff. I'm up gambling with a bunch of guys, bunch of lifers, in a cheating poker game. Think about it, like looking for trouble in the penitentiary. And a man stood up and said, "You're not the only person gonna die in here. I'm gonna die too. So we can either do it now or we can do it then. Because I don't care either. It don't make me no difference either." At that moment, that was it. I don't know if you ever had faced an about face moment in your life. An about face moment is one of those moments when you are going in one direction and you get something happens and it makes you turn an about face. Nothing stopped me from being a criminal, y'all. Nothing. My children didn't stop me. I love my children. Nothing stopped me. I didn't care about nobody, but nothing stopped me. Nothing. That's what I wanted to do. But that one moment made me do an about face, and I thank God for that moment. If it had not been for God in that moment, I'd probably be dead now or doing like Juggalo the rest of my life in prison. So that's what changed me. A prison poker game where guys got to arguing, and one guy said, "You're not the only person gonna die in here." And at that moment, I had to make a choice. Either I want to die in prison one day, or I want to get out and live my life productively and see what life holds other than a prison cell and count time and chow call and all the stuff that come along with being in prison for long periods of time. All right? So that's what did it, man. And I thank God for it. Changed my life, changed my mind, changed my direction. That was an about face moment for me. It really was. Hey, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the story. I have plenty of them. Thank you guys so much. If you want to know more about my history, you should purchase my book, A Quarter of My Truth. Pick it up. It's on Amazon. You can order it directly from, I put a link in the post. You can order it, the quickest way to get it, if you want it right now, is on Amazon Kindle. You can download it, get it, start reading it. It's a great book, great reviews, good read. I wrote it myself, published it myself. All right, well, my wife published it, all right. So I'm gone, family. Appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate you guys for watching. Some of you guys may not know this about me. Some of this side of me you guys don't know. You guys are seeing the finished product of grace. You're seeing the finished product of mercy, right? You're seeing the finished, not the finished product, but a washed version of who I used to be. And I thank God that I'm not that person no more. I'm not perfect, but I'm not that person anymore. And if it had not been for a Sunday morning in Pikeville, Tennessee, at Bledsoe State Penitentiary in a poker game in 2002 or maybe 2003, I'd probably be dead in jail the rest of my life or living a non-existent life right now. All right? So thank you guys for watching. It's Larry, man. Peace.